I spent years studying dating psychology, and now I have dating abundance. Now I'm teaching what I learned to people online like you. Today we're breaking down a guy named Evan who's struggling with dating. Then we're going to learn from his mistakes. So Evan's just a 20-year-old sophomore in college. He grew up being the nice, respectful, smart kid that teachers always liked, but he didn't get much social attention. Now girls would sometimes tell him he's nice, but never once did they call him confident or attractive. In fact, in the last few months, 2 girls on separate occasions said that he was boyish. He never really understood what boyish meant, but I'm going to break down what that means later. Now over the years, he was taught that you just had to be nice to women and work hard, and that's how you got dating success. But clearly that's not the case with him. He's very nice and he works very hard in school and at work, but he's just not getting any female attention. Meanwhile, there's these guys that he sees that are definitely working less hard than him and definitely treating the girls way less nice, and they're getting all the women. He's been dealing with that pain for a while, but he really hit a breaking point last week. Now what happened was that there's this girl that he's become pretty good friends with. She's very pretty and she's got a cool personality, and he would definitely date her if he could, but he just does not have the confidence or the self-image to believe that if he asked her out, she would reciprocate. But lately he's been attracted enough to her where he's been thinking about asking her out. He'd been building up the courage to make a move, but his whole plan came crashing down when last week she announced that she had a new boyfriend. Now just hearing this alone really crushed his spirits, but it got worse when he realized he knew who this boyfriend was. He knew that her boyfriend was a complete asshole. He was a jerk, he didn't really try hard in school, and honestly was a bum. But yet, he was dating this girl that he really liked. And this devastated him. And like I said earlier, he's been noticing that these jerk guys are the ones that are getting to the girls. Evan's a nice guy and he knows that he has value. He would treat a girl so well if he dated her. And this isn't some delusion, he really would treat a girl very well. And I spent years in the same situation where I knew I was a nice guy, I was funny, I was smart, I was going places, but no girls gave me any attention. And that just really crushed me the same way that is crushing Evan right now. He wants to know what's wrong with him. Like I said, I was in the same situation. I felt like I had all the things going for me, but for some reason, I just wasn't attractive to women. Alright, now that we have his whole backstory, we're going to audit his attraction trait index. So what this is it's all the little traits that combined make a man attractive. And usually when a guy isn't getting girls, he's lacking on these things. His cleanliness is good, it's about an 8. His skin and his hair, they're pretty good, I'd give it a 7. But his style is where he's really lacking. He dresses like a middle schooler, which I'd say puts him at about a 3. We'll get into this more later. His physique's alright, it's at a 6, and his posture could be better, but I'd put it at a 5. His warmth calibration, I'd put at a 7. His flirting, that's another weak one. I'd put that at a 4. He just does not have the self-image to be able to do it. His vocal tonality, also really weak. He's very pitchy when he talks, kind of like the classical nerd archetype. His eye contact could be better. I'd put it at a 6. His self-image, like I said with the voice, it's lacking. His leadership energy is fine, it's at a 6. And his standards are actually pretty good. I'd put that at an 8. His reputation could definitely use improvement, but it's honestly not one of the biggest bottlenecks. I put it at a 6. He has a strong lifestyle score. I put that at an 8. He really takes care of himself. And lastly, for emotion control, he's pretty stable, so I'll put that at a 7. Alright, so now combining his whole story with the ATI audit that we just did, we're going to come up with his biggest bottlenecks. Now these are just my recommendations on what he should do. If you have a different idea of what he should do, comment below. So the majority of the bottlenecks that I've identified really circle around him being boyish. He's not very physically attractive because of this. So that's going to be the first bottleneck. But now, what's bottlenecking his physical attraction? It's definitely going to be the outfit. He dresses like a 12-year-old. He has not upgraded his style since like 7th grade, and it's really turning everybody off. Alright, so there we have it. Physical attraction being bottlenecked by outfits and style. Now in the next section, I'll go over the tasks of how he can actually fix this, but for now, that's all you need to know. The second major bottleneck is going to be his self-image. This is just preventing him from actually flirting with girls. I mean, for all we know, the girl that he likes, if he asked her out, she could have said yes, and then it'd be a happy ending for him. So he needs to work on his self-image so that he can actually go up and flirt. So that's going to be the bottleneck. But what's causing the self-image issue? Well, it's kind of a circle because he doesn't think that he can get the girl that he wants, so then he doesn't go for her, which then reinforces it. So he needs to work on his flirting skills to increase the confidence that if he flirts with a girl, it will work. And I'll get into the flirting, but first I want to talk about how I used to have really bad self-image. And I used to have no ability to flirt because I didn't think that if I talked to a girl, she'd like me. And this is a very normal thing, and I honestly think it's one of the biggest bottlenecks for all guys. because fixing your self-image can really help a lot of other stuff. But now going back to what's bottlenecking his flirting, it's going to be his vocal tonality. Like I said earlier, it's not good. He's very pitchy. He's kind of a squeaker, if you remember that term. And fixing this is going to make it so girls are more receptive to him, so that he feels more confident flirting, so that it improves his self-image. All right, so now let's move into the tasks. What would I assign Evan to do if I could pick any 3 things to fix this stuff so that he could have dating success? The first thing I'm going to assign is to go shopping for new clothes. This is something super quick. It just takes a few hours, and it really just involves going to the mall, ideally with a girl because they tend to know what fashion is good and what fashion's bad, and then just picking out some nicer outfits. Now, I know different guys like doing different style, but really it boils down to just wearing nicer clothes. Now, I'm not saying to go buy a suit, and really it's just leveling up one step at a time, and that's going to really make a big difference. I only really shop at Old Navy because they got pretty damn cheap clothes, and a lot of their stuff is nice and it's all comfortable. So this isn't supposed to be an Old Navy ad. It's just to prove that clothes can be nice, cheap, and comfortable. And because I'm only going to buy clothes that are comfortable. All right, so now moving on to the next task, it's going to be voice iteration. What this would actually look like for Evan is to record a little voice memo, 30 seconds every single day of him just talking in what he could imagine as more of a masculine voice. Now, it might not seem true at first, but you pick how your voice sounds like. You don't 100% get a pick if you have a low voice or a high voice, but you can change the pitch that you talk around your baseline level. And it's not all just about pitch either. It also has a lot to do with your cadence, how slow or fast you talk. So what he would do is record 30 seconds of just talking the way that he wishes he could talk like. And eventually it's going to become habit. And he's recording it so he can listen back, notice little things he wants to tweak, and tweak those things so that a few weeks from now, he talks like the way he wants to talk, and he completely fixes the vocal tonality because your voice is very moldable. All right, now for the third and last task, I'm going to have him doing something super simple. He just has to compliment one girl a day. It doesn't even have to be flirty, just some random girl in the elevator, at work, at class, just walking in the street. He just has to give one compliment. The purpose of this is to build his flirting skills. But I thought he's not supposed to flirt. Well, that's a thing, is you're building your confidence. It's about being comfortable complimenting women, because you're going to have to do that when you're flirting. What I used to do when I worked at the front register at a restaurant is every third customer, I had to compliment something about them. Now, it's important that you're not complimenting girls in sexual ways. Like, make sure you're complimenting something like her glasses or her necklace, or if she's got some crazy shirt design. Just avoid anything creepy, because that's where it's not really doing anything for you except for hurting you and making her uncomfortable. So while there probably will be some more work to do after he fixes this, it's really going to fix his boyishness. Because evolutionarily, women want to reproduce with men, not with boys. So if he's not acting like a boy, if he's not looking like a boy, then it's going to be a lot easier for a woman to be attracted to him. And I will revisit Evan in a future video after he's completed all this stuff later down the line. We'll see where he's at and what else he could improve. Like I said, if you would do something different, comment that. If you like this type of video, or if you want some in-depth dating frameworks, check out my channel, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.